How Corn Became the American Dream by Moon. Let's tap in. Let's see what we got today in today's video. I know, like, you know what I'm saying, this is a heavy topic, depending on, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people, especially a lot of young men, it's women too, but a lot of people find themselves being addicted to, you know what I'm saying, porn and masturbation and stuff like that, just because they can see it as a stress reliever. They can see it as a something that they can control. You know what I'm saying? Some people have impulse control. They don't know when to put the meat down. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't know when to put the meat down. But we're gonna see how porn became the American dream. Let's tap in. Let's see what we got.
Today, there's no better way to become rich, famous, and celebrated in modern culture than by making porn videos. Look at the porn stars from days gone by. They mostly ended up dead, addicted to drugs, or washed up on the back streets in downtown LA somewhere. Now look at Mia Khalifa. She's a multi-millionaire who hosted shows with NBA legends, sat front row at Paris and Milan Fashion Week.
But see, and look, I know we 22 seconds and shut up. This is my video. We're watching it together. We're giving our thoughts. We don't just watch it over here. We're actually reacting. That's what we do. Anyways, but I think that's the main fallacy. Like that's how these sick ass dudes get women to join this field in the first place. They sell you on a dream. They say there's no quicker route to fame and fortune and money and success than to sell your body to some extent. To you know what I'm saying, go fully nude, to do sexual activities on camera. When I feel as though you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not, and my thing is, it doesn't always work out for everybody. You know how many porn stars there are in the world? Like I'm pretty sure there might be millions. But how many do you say, like, do you know about? You could probably name about like 5 or 10. Like, if we being honest, you can probably name about 5, 10. If you could name more than 15, brother, you need to you need to do something with yourself. But anyways, like, yes, like a lot of these dudes behind the camera and these back rooms, corporate offices, they're telling you that, you know what I'm saying, I can get you this, I can get you that, I can get you.
Modeled for Vivienne Westwood, and Moschino runs her own jewelry business and has been interviewed by basically every major outlet on earth. She was a paralegal from a Lebanese family, and she didn't churn out film for years. She just claimed she made 11 of them over a few months. And within a few weeks of her debut, she was the number.
That's crazy to me. Like, she's a paralegal. Like, you already find yourself in a professional field that I want to say, let's throw half out there. Half the people couldn't even get into, or half people wouldn't even pursue. Like, I gotta fact check it, but I'm assuming paralegals make good money. All that shit has to do with like lawyer work. You know what I'm saying, depending if you good enough at your job, right? But it's like a lot of years and time and effort go into that. Stress from going to school, stress from having to, if you had to pay for school, student loans and all that stuff. Is like, damn. And then you choose the route of going to like go do porn. It's like being overly qualified, or not even overly qualified, but having the qualifications for a great career. You know what I'm saying? A lucrative career, a career that's stable. You know what I'm saying? You have stable income, stable finances, and then you want to throw that away for, you know what I'm saying, to ruin your public image. Now, like everybody sees you, all that hard work you put into becoming a paralegal. We don't see you as Mia Khalifa the paralegal. We see you as Mia Khalifa the porn star. You know what I'm saying? That's how everybody's gonna see you for the rest of your life, no matter what you do. And you see how she tried to pivot and do all these different things, but no matter what you do, you know what I'm saying, people are still going to see you as Mia Khalifa the porn star. It's just what it is at this point.
One performer on the biggest adult site in the world, where she received death threats, was shunned from her religion, and her family stopped speaking to her.
ISIS was after you?
I'm not allowed back in Lebanon. I was banned from the Middle East.
Which is crazy, because they're the ones who watch my videos the most.
Then she walked away from the industry forever after making just $12,000, or at least that's what she claimed.
You were paid a grand total of $12,000 US, and yet you made millions and millions of dollars for both Bang Bros, the company that you worked with, and Pornhub, the aggregating site. How could that be?
That's just how it is.
But between then and now, Mia Khalifa, like so many others, has used porn to become, in every sense of the word, famous. Not infamous, but legitimately famous, rubbing shoulders with A-listers and getting invited to their cocktail parties. Something huge happened in the world of adult content to create a pipeline to status and generational wealth. For Sarah Jo Chamoun, which is Mia's real name, she grew up right alongside the internet, and more specifically at a turning point for the sex industry.
I mean, I'm a kid who grew up playing World of Warcraft and using dial-up internet and fixing the computer at home when it broke. Like, that was my job because I was of that generation. So I think that I've always had a knack for what I like to consume online, which in turn influenced how I like to be online.
Adult content back then was an analog affair, driven by VHS tapes, magazines, and adult video stores. The money was limited and controlled by the gatekeepers. Performers like Mia got paid per scene, with no way to self-publish or go independent. And like so many others, she was pulled off the street in Miami by a random man who asked if she thought about modeling, suggesting she come down to a studio and take a look around. The studio was bang.
I'm not gonna lie, them niggas are like I feel like there's a such thing as a legal predator, like, because that I've heard about that before, where it's like they look for, obviously they're not looking for, because it's illegal to have anybody under 18 do this stuff, but they're looking for that barely legal, you know what I'm saying, freshly 18, 19, you know what I'm saying, young pretty faces, nice bodies. They're looking for that. They're actively praying for it. They have people who literally canvass the streets, and they're in areas where they know young women who are vulnerable, who are susceptible to being sold these false ideologies and being tricked and being swindled by the lifestyle, the promises, the money. Like they literally have men who get paid to go out and do this. Like, you know how NBA the NBA teams be having fucking prospect hunters, you know what I'm saying? Like they be at the high schools looking at players. Like they have people that do that, and that's so predatory. Like, that is very, very predatory. And I feel like those niggas don't get held accountable, because I feel like they're doing the worst thing. They're bringing them into this life. You know what I'm saying? The people that are already in that life, they're in that life. They're cooked regardless. You know what I'm saying? But there are people who, you know what I'm saying, they're not the cameraman, they're not the producer, they're not the business owner, but we're going to pay you to go scout young women. That's pred shit. That's pred shit if I ever seen it.
Bros, one of the leading studios at the time.
It wasn't just, hey, do you want to come do porn? It was more so, oh, you're beautiful. Like, would you like to do some modeling? Oh, you know, you have a great body. Like, I think you'd be great in nude modeling. Things like that. And after I came and toured the studio, you know, it was very respectable. It was a gorgeous location. It was in Miami, in Doral, Florida. It was clean. Everyone who worked there was nice. All of their cubicles were decorated with family photos. Like, it was nothing.
She signed the paperwork, came back the next day, filmed her first scene, and a month in, they put her in a hijab, which was incredibly controversial but decisive for her career. She told the studio that the video was.
And let's one thing we're gonna be accountable, because these niggas are predatory, yes, but you as a human being in the United States of America over the age of 18, if you're not in an unfortunate situation where you're being forced to do these things, or you're being trafficked, you're being, you know what I'm saying, blackmailed, you have the power to say no. As an adult, so the moment you turn 18, especially as a woman, there are going to be people that come into your life instantly that try to attach themselves to you, that try to sell you on shit, they try to, you know what I'm saying, lead you astray from whatever it is that you got your mind focused on at the time. But as a young adult, you always have the power, not always, but you, for the majority of the time and majority of the people, you have the power to say no. You know what I'm saying? You are the controller of your destiny. If you feel as though, you know what I'm saying, you want to be super duper famous, you want to be rich, you want to be this, you want to be that, there's steps to do that. But at the same time, I feel like this is just the route of selling your body, is selling your soul. You know what I'm saying? Unless you genuinely don't care about how people portray you, unless you genuinely don't care about how the world will see you for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? If you don't care about those things, then sure, dive right into that field. But like, you have free will in America. For the most part, you do. You know what I'm saying? You can say no.
Going to get her killed.
I verbatim told them, you guys are going to get me killed.
And they said?
They just laughed.
She did it anyway, and after it premiered, the avalanche started. Radical Islamic sympathizers hacked her Instagram and covered it in propaganda. They photoshopped a picture of her onto someone being beheaded. Her family disowned her.
They photoshopped a picture of me onto someone getting beheaded. And they said something along the lines of, you're next.
She quit less than a month later, but none of this blew over like she hoped it would, and she couldn't get back into regular employment.
I realized that
I can never work a normal job again.
Bang Bros disputed her account of her career and her argument that they ripped her off. They eventually created a website dedicated to calling her out, called factsbeatfiction.co, pushing back on her claims and stating that they paid her over $178,000. They even said she filmed before with a different studio under the name Mia Calista before Bang Bros, and that her entire narrative was just a total lie. She claimed she walked away from adult content with her head held high, but adult content hadn't walked away from her. So naturally, there was only one way to climb back up the ladder, and OnlyFans took over the entire industry at that exact moment. When Mia joined OnlyFans in 2020, she framed it as a moral response to the Beirut port explosion that killed 218 people in her home country. She publicly pledged to donate the first $100,000 she made on the platform.
In 2020, I decided to join OnlyFans after the Beirut blast. I made the decision to join OnlyFans and donate. If I was able to make $100,000, I am donating $100,000, and that's why I'm joining this platform.
It doesn't take a very high level of skepticism to wonder whether that was true or just ethical positioning. But either way, it clearly worked out for her career. This is where Mia Khalifa became the bridge between two completely different worlds. The old world of adult content that chewed the old porn stars up and spat them out, leaving them in places like the tunnels under Las Vegas. And then there's the new world of adult content that makes celebrity entrepreneurs. Let's take Sophie Rain. In 2022, she was a 19-year-old waitress barely covering her bills. She didn't come from an adult entertainment background, but OnlyFans was still her exit.
My sister was doing OnlyFans, and I was like, maybe I'll try it so I can get out of this serving job, because I was just serving. I was working.
I'm not trying to come off as a hater either, right? Like, one thing too, like I said, we're on the accountability tour. You know what I'm saying? We're going on an accountability tour. We want to hold everybody accountable, and one of the biggest people to hold accountable is these men that pay for this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand, right? Like, being addicted to porn, being addicted to masturbating, being addicted to watching other people have sexual intercourse because you want to pleasure yourself. I understand that. I get it. But they're like, it is probably billions of free source material that you can choose from that is online. I honestly don't understand. Like, I don't get the whole I'm going to pay a monthly subscription to see a person do explicit acts or just be nude or take nude photos or to have a fake conversation with me through a fucking text. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand. Like, are we that touch deprived as men in society? And I believe some people are, genuinely. Like, some people can't go out and explore real connections, so they gotta settle for paying $5.99 just to see. I mean this in the most respectable way, but mid shit. This is mid shit. Like, and it baffles me because she's I think she is the most famous in the most, like, lucrative OF star known to date. I don't think nobody's passed her up. Like, I just don't see how. I don't see the appeal. Like, this is your generic everyday white woman that you could see at Starbucks. But she's making more than she's making more than people who spent majority of their lifetime in schools to get doctorates, to be doctors, to be dentists, to be neurosurgeons, to be brain surgeons. She's making more than professional fucking athletes. And yes, they're doing nothing but running and jumping and catching them and playing with balls. But at the same time, it's like, how could a person who's posting nudity, because I heard she don't even do like what the X stars do. She don't. She's just posting stuff that you can see for free on Instagram. If you log in right now, you go see an Instagram baddie or Instagram model. She's posting the same quality of stuff. You can see that for free, but you're paying for her. Who is this girl to you? What makes her that appealing that you literally gotta go to her page, you know what I'm saying, click subscribe, enter your credit card information, and then hit pay? Or they making it simple for you now. Everything got Apple Pay. What is making you Apple Pay her $6 of your hard-earned money to see nudes?
Literally every day, 9 to 5.
Restaurant?
It's called Papa Joe's. It was some Italian restaurant down in Tampa. But it was fun. Like, I loved it. I loved serving, but I just wasn't making money.
It all kicked off with her infamous Spider-Man video.
Every time I was like, no, it's not me. No, it's not me. They're like, no, you're lying. It is. So I just kind of ran with it.
It wasn't even her, but she made about $95 million in 3 years from a case of
$95 million, brother. $95 million for being a white woman with big titties. Essentially, that's she made $95 million just for being a woman. And it's like, men, like she ain't put no, she didn't put no weapon in nobody's head. She didn't force nobody. She didn't hold nobody at gunpoint, knife point. You know what I'm saying? She didn't blackmail nobody. Like this is just like broad day legal robbery. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas gave her $95 million. Y'all did it. Y'all did this.
mistaken identity.
So in 3 years, how much have you made?
I think last time I checked, it was at $95 million.
Holy f-
Here's what really happened. In September 2023, Sophie and her sister Sierra posted the Spider-Man themed photo set on their OnlyFans. Around the same time, another creator called Naomi, who happens to look like Sophie, filmed an explicit video in a skin-tight black Spider-Man suit. The internet saw the photo set and the explicit video and conflated the two. Millions of men became convinced Sophie had secretly leaked hardcore content. She clocked that it was free traffic and started dressing up as Spider-Man on TikTok to deliberately stoke the rumor. There is no real Sophie Rayne's Spider-Man video. The whole thing is a fantasy that lived in the minds of her audience. She also created scarcity around her content by describing herself as a virgin, though she backtracked on that a year later. I don't think people talk enough about how much these addictions can quietly affect your life, especially when it starts early in your life. It's one of those things that seems harmless at first, but over time it chips away at your focus, your discipline, and even your confidence. And the worst part is, most people try to fix it with willpower alone, which almost never works long term.
I feel like, if I'm being honest, I feel like porn addiction is up there with like being a crackhead, like being a meth head. You know what I'm saying? Being addicted to the Roxy or the Oxys or whatever they call that shit. But it's like that's something like, especially because like we're groomed as men, we're groomed and conditioned to this guy, brother. Let me move this over here. He's still in there, yeah. Well, let me get over there. But like I said, like as young men, we're groomed to be taught that this is normal. Like this is what every man experiences. This is what every man goes through. You know what I'm saying? It's just a phase. You know what I'm saying? You'll get over it, but at the same time, no. Because a lot of people, like, yeah, when you first start discovering about your body, learning about your body, it's a fun thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It is. Like, if we're being honest with ourselves, man to men, because I'm like, come on, it was a fun thing to do. But then it starts to replace, you know what I'm saying, like the need for good things to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? You have a bad day, you touch yourself. You have a good day, you touch yourself. You know what I'm saying? You want to reward yourself by touching yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of men, like you strike out on the night, you go home empty-handed. So guess what you do? You touch yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things that like you do it so much and you start young, it becomes like this is just a thing that everybody do. But the older you get, there's this guilt that looms around it after like literally like post-nut clarity. That's a real thing. Like when you get done, it's just like, what am I doing? You don't even want to look yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? You're deep down ashamed because you know this is not something that, like, when you were younger, this was maybe a cool thing, not even a cool thing to do, but it was just like, it happens when you're young. But when you get older, it's like, what the fuck am I doing? I just wasted 10 to 20 to 40 to an hour. You know what I'm saying? Because some dudes get it so bad to the point where they gotta search for the perfect video. So they on fucking thread. They on thread page 800 of 2 million. You know what I'm saying? Just searching for that perfect video because they gotta find the perfect video to release themselves to. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that's really, really bad, and it really, really harms men, but nobody talks about it. Well, people talk about it now, but it's like people don't seem to really understand. You know what I'm saying? There's AA meetings for alcoholics and drug addicts There's not really AA meetings for pornographic addicts, but they should be treated the same. You know what I'm saying? Some people go through their entire life not being able to escape this shit. And it ruins your life. Like he said, it ruins your connections with people, how you see women. It ruins how your confidence level. You know what I'm saying? You feel shame, you feel guilt just by walking amongst the world because like 30 minutes before you enter society, you were literally just touching yourself to some Sophie Rain. Like you gotta beat this. And I feel like it should be taken more seriously.
You just end up stuck in the same loop. And that's why I want to talk to you about this. There's content blockers out there like our sponsor Quitter, which is an app designed to make quitting porn a lot more practical. Instead of relying on willpower, you just turn on the content blocker and it blocks all porn content from even reaching your phone in the first place. So you're not constantly fighting the urge, you're just removing the trigger. Once it's on, you don't have to think about it.
I disagree with that because I have the Quitter app. Well, I don't have it, but I've had it before, and it's like even if you're on social media, and look, one thing too, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think so many when like you're in a phase where you want to quit porn and quit touching yourself and quit masturbating entirely. It's not the porn itself that's the problem. It's the triggers. I'm telling you. Every man will notice it's the triggers. You'll be scrolling on IG and you'll see butt. And then it just builds and it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds to the point where it's like you don't want to do it, or you can feel yourself about to relapse. You can feel yourself about to, you know what I'm saying, give in and cave into what you've been trying to put off for about a week. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it happening because of the triggers. You know what I'm saying? Social media and how provocative social media is, how provocative people's posts are. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's showing a lot of skin. I feel like our brains weren't designed to see this many bad women on the timeline. Our brains wasn't designed to see this much ass, this much titties. You know what I'm saying? Our brains weren't designed to be able to handle this stuff on a daily basis and to not do anything about it, because you're just constantly getting stimulated, constantly getting thoughts, constantly putting yourself in that mood, like, oh, if I was with her, if I could be with her, if I could, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is constant, this is consistent on every app, no matter where you go. You literally gotta hand design your algorithm to literally not see none of this, because the moment you engage with one thing too long, you scroll and you look at a post too long, you're cooked. You're going to be seeing ass for the next 5 days.
As it just works in the background, and it also tracks your progress, which is a big part of it, as you can see your streak stay consistent and you're doing it alongside thousands of other people going through the same thing. One of their best features is the panic button. If you ever feel the urge, you just hit it and it immediately redirects you and helps you kill that urge in the moment, which is usually the hardest part, and it just handles it right there. If this is something you've been trying to get under control, this makes it a lot more structured. So make sure to hit the link in the description or pinned comment below, or scan the QR code on screen and download Quitter today.
And something in me tell me, bro, that's not enough, bro. Like, if you want to beat that meat, you're gonna beat that meat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like an app telling you to breathe and exhale or do a crossword puzzle, bro. I could literally just like put my thumb at the bottom of my phone, scroll up, and I'm going to Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it gets that bad, like, nothing can really save you other than you just gotta have that willpower to say, no, I'm not touching myself. I'm not doing it.
Use code MOON to try it out. Sophie said her content involves some level of nudity, which is probably understated, but she's definitely not out there doing what Bonnie Blue is doing, which epitomizes exactly what adult content has become, selling the fantasy of personal access to an attractive woman. Sophie now has 16 million Instagram followers. When she walks through a shopping mall in Miami, paparazzi camp outside to ask her about her rumored collab with Drake. The mansion she co-founded with 7 other OnlyFans creators was described in the mainstream press as the Gen Z version of the Playboy Mansion. She's constantly associated with big celebrity events. The industry has swallowed itself and given birth to something entirely new. A monetized intimacy economy where the content can be softer, the stigma lower, and the money exponentially bigger, all while the sexual acts are actually increasingly optional.
What the f are the guys paying for at that point?
It's curiosity, and then also
with that
like
specific person.
Yeah,
I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because you can sit there and have a conversation with me, you know.
You're not talking to her. You gotta, One thing that bothers me, especially now, the older I get, brother, is just point blank stupidity. It's no way that somebody that is super duper famous, that has tons of followers, tons of subscribers, she's not talking to 500,000 of y'all. My voice is cracked. Ew. She's not talking to 500,000 of y'all. It's not possible. It's not possible to sit here and anytime you text her, you're just priority number one. You say hey, she says hi. At any time of the day. It could be 5 in the morning, you say, hey, I just paid extra to see this extra post. And she says, oh, you did? Thank you. Brother, you're talking to some nigga in fucking Taiwan. Some nigga in Indonesia. Them tech niggas that be trying to scam likely and shit and steal your bank cards. You're talking to them. You're not talking to this woman. And it's like, I don't understand how your brain isn't clicking. Like, how are we not there yet? We need to be there.
Like, you don't get that just from going on Instagram.
Mia got paid $12,000 for explicit permanent graphic content. Sophie got paid $1.4 million by one man for messages. And that was back in 2025. It's over $6 million now.
I want to say last time I checked, it was like 1.4.
Wow. Wow.
But that was like, that's of all
My
time.
God.
That's of all time. And I've been doing this for going on 2 years now.
Who the f is this guy?
So you got 1.4 from one man just from messages alone. And it's like, this is why I say, like, money is just like, money in theory, well, I said theory. Money in theory, it sounds nice, you know what I'm saying? Being able to have that financial backing, that you don't ever got to worry about a bill. You don't got to worry about when your next meal gonna come, where you gonna live, what cars to drive. You know what I'm saying? If you have millions to sit here and just talk to Sophie Rain all day, brother, what is the point of becoming a millionaire? What is the point of working so hard? Or maybe this person didn't work hard. Maybe they you know what I'm saying, a baby boomer, or a baby bus, or a silver spooner, or whatever y'all decide to call them in y'all generation. You know what I'm saying? But what is the point of having these millions, having these billions, if you're just gonna give it away like this? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, this is why I feel like people aren't designed to have massive amounts of money, because it's like, what the fuck are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? I don't get that.
It's got to be like a fucking Middle Eastern prince.
I can't say much, obviously, because I'm not going to air anyone's shit out.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy.
Rightly or wrongly, it still destroyed aspects of her social life. Her parents both got fired and she became their provider.
Right now, like, I'm supporting them completely. They both got fired from their jobs because of me. So I feel a little bit of guilt in that, and like, I feel like I need to provide for them also, because my fault, I guess.
Sophie Rain built an empire on a video that never existed.
I don't think that's morally right to fire somebody because they're but it is your child, though. Let's think, and let's really ponder on it. Let's ponder. It's your child, so you're responsible for everything they do up until they're 18. But at the same time, right? Let's not act like if your child, once they turn 18 and just start becoming a serial killer or a mass murderer, people are still gonna look at the parents crazy. Like, what's y'all doing in y'all household for this person to turn out this way? You know what I'm saying? But I feel like losing your job is a little extreme. Losing your, like, what if she wasn't a good daughter and was putting on for her family or supporting them financially? You essentially just lost your job for the simple fact that a person, like, that when they turn 18, that's just a person. Yes, it's your kid, but it's another person who's making their own life choices. Like, that's kind of bad. I don't like that.
But a couple of years before that, a young actress called Chloe Cherry ran the inverse strategy for the same result. She'd moved to Miami the week she turned 18 to do adult content, and spent the next few years becoming one of the most watched performers on Pornhub. Then during lockdown, she filmed a graphic parody of HBO's teen drama Euphoria. Not long after, the real creator of the genuine Euphoria emailed her asking her to audition for the show. She got the part, again proving how can scaffold women to a new path in life. Within months of her first episode airing, she'd walked New York and Milan Fashion Week, fronted a Versailles campaign, and starred in the music video for Charli XCX's 360. In just under a year, she went from being the most watched woman on a specific hub category to being a face the fashion industry was actively competing for. This isn't entirely new. 20 years before OnlyFans existed, a young LA socialite proved that a leaked sex tape didn't have to end a woman's career. It could actually build one. That woman was Kim Kardashian, one of the most widely known names on the planet. The promiscuity of people like herself and Paris Hilton was creating sex entrepreneurs without going through the industry. It was classier, more refined, and more marketable. The Kardashian tape was filmed with her then boyfriend Ray J in 2003. It went public in February 2007. At the time, an explicit video of a young woman with no particular fame or career wasn't viewed as the norm like it might be today. When these tapes leaked, they were massive news stories, and the entertainment industry was paying very close attention. Because somewhere in the media frenzy that followed, someone in a boardroom ran the calculations. And the math said that what happened to Kim Kardashian could be converted with the right packaging into one of the most.
But it's like, why are we in boardroom meetings? This is my gripe. This is my problem with corporate America, right? Because a lot of these companies and these places where they go in a suit and ties and they sit in their cubicles. Do you think they hard working? You think they in there fucking, you know what I'm saying, running the numbers to see what's the next thing that we can invest in to grow our company? You know what I'm saying? What is our next service that we can provide to the people? You know what I'm saying? So we can make money off the people. No, these niggas are sitting in their office packaging Kim Kardashian X tapes, saying if you market it this way, we can put her on TV. We can get Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We could make her marry Chris Humphries. We could keep her on TMZ. Society sucks. Like the more you just like really just listen and watch how the world operates, this shit sucks.
Lucrative television deals of the decade. Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered 8 months later and propelled the whole family to the center of celebrity culture for nearly a decade. Today, Kim Kardashian's worth roughly $1.7 billion.
And just like that, off one tape. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's true or not, but it's rumors that her mom is the reason why it happened. You know what I'm saying?
And the tape that
her mom, they said it's rumors that the mom is the reason why it happened. She told them to make the tape. They gave her the tape. She the one that leaked it. Allegedly, that's what they say. But at the same time, even if she did, that makes her a mastermind. She clearly knew something that we all don't. She literally got her daughter to net worth to $1.7 billion. Like, I don't even know how recording yourself, have relations on camera, and then posting it translates into having a clothing brand. You know what I'm saying? It translates into having a TV show. You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
kicked it all off.
Y'all made these niggas famous.
It's a mere footnote in her CV.
Would you be where you are had there not been a sex tape?
You know, I think that's how I was definitely introduced to the world.
No, that's not what you think. That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for that tape, would you be where you are? Would we watch Keeping Up with? Not we. Would they watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Would they be buying Skims? Would you have your own? She got her own Beats collection of headphones that look like her skin tone or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, would you have the ample of opportunities to have these businesses, to be in these rooms, to have these connections, to make these establishments, to put your whole family on if it wasn't for that tape? If we're being honest, she would not. We would not. Like, maybe she would be known. Maybe she would be like a B leaguer or a C leaguer. You know what I'm saying? These random women that all the celebrities date, that they share. You know what I'm saying? She'd be one of those. She'll still be relevant in that space. But would we know Kim Kardashian? Probably not. She wouldn't be the household name that she is.
It was a negative way.
Stop.
So I felt like I really had to work 10 times harder to get people to see the real me.
She's quite honest about impact, saying the worst part wasn't the humiliation itself, but having to explain the tape to her grandmother. She says she was grateful her father had died 4 years earlier and didn't live to see it.
I had to explain that to my grandmother. So I think I was more...
And you're most glad you didn't have to explain it to...
my father.
Which is basically a premonition of how many OnlyFans models feel today. OnlyFans relies on publicity and self-promotion. You can't easily shoot scenes under an alias and hide them as a double life. What Kim had inadvertently proved is that attention itself is the asset, and you need to market yourself as a person. Whatever generates the attention is almost secondary. The market logic of modern porn rewards whatever generates the most clicks, and everything else is downstream of that rule. Which is exactly why marketing stunts are getting more controversial and extreme. The Hall of Fame today looks more like an arms race where performers compete for a share of the audience's attention. Like in 2019 when Belle Delphine sold jars of her own bath water for $35 each. She faked her own arrest with a photoshopped Metropolitan Police mugshot and briefly ran a account that turned out to be videos of 2 roosters. Her whole thing was just absurdist performance art dressed up as sex work, and it made her one of the most famous e-girls on the internet. In 2021, a 17-year-old called Bad Barbie, who had become briefly famous on Dr. Phil for telling the audience to catch her outside,
he called her Bad Barbie,
teased her OnlyFans launch for weeks on Instagram. She then opened the account the day she turned 18 and made $1 million in 6 hours. Lil Tay would then follow in her footsteps years later. In May 2025, an Australian creator called Annie Knight hired a swingers club on the Gold Coast and had sex with 583 men in 6 hours. She was then hospitalized with vaginal bleeding and posted the hospital photo to Instagram, captioned, "I guess 583 guys in a day isn't that good for your body." In October 2024, the 23-year-old British model called Lily Phillips invited 101 men into an Airbnb and had sex with all of them in a single day. She filmed it as a documentary. A clip of her crying afterwards, her friend's arm around her, got 200.
I will say, being a father, and in this time where women are doing whatever they want to do, like they don't care. Like, women are doing whatever they want, and society is just backing it. You know what I'm saying? There's no shame. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that. There's no ridicule, and if it is, you're only ridiculing the ugly women. If we're being honest, like if you're an attractive woman in today's society, you could do whatever you want to do. Nothing is gonna happen. Nobody's gonna say anything. Nobody's gonna look at you anyway. They're gonna say, "How much is it, and where can I pay? How much is it, and where do I sign up? How often do you post?" That's the only questions they get, and I just hate that. And it's not even them. They're only able to do it because men are just like nasty, bro. Like, with their wallets, they're nasty. Men are nasty with their wallets. And it's just sickening.
Million views in one tweet. She has then since faked a pregnancy, faked an arrest, filmed a classroom roleplay with 18-year-olds, and announced she'd be beating the existing world record by sleeping with 1,000 men in a day. And then, of course, there's Bonnie Blue, who took the record of 1,057 men in 12 hours. She also faked a pregnancy and will risk arrest, deportation, or practically anything to stay relevant. And somehow, this has gotten her on the podcast circuit like all of these girls. These stunts echo the much wider trend across social media where AI slop and brain rot content dominate for their acute ability to hijack our dopamine. Mr. Beast, Sidemen, and others mastered that formula with escalating challenges that became more and more outrageous, leaving nothing off the table in the pursuit of attention. It's all pervasive, and adult entertainment naturally made a home in social media's algorithmic universe because ramping up the shock value is so easy when it's someone's body. Behind all of these stunts is usually an incredibly well-engineered business that proves how much porn has transformed. They have staff, a logistics operation, and marketing budgets rivaling tech startups. Probably the biggest weapon they have in their marketing arsenal is those who oppose them.
It's all the Karens sat at home that are going to complain about me being here that are making me rich because they make it blow up. And then when they're sat at home complaining about it to their, their husbands, they're then wanting to come and subscribe.
Well, putting their self...
No, because a Karen is going to do what it, like, the internet is going to talk about it, but at the same time, that just because something is being talked about, just because something is deemed as controversial, just because something is, getting publicity in a moment that's not the signal for, oh, let me go put my credit card information in and pay for this. That's not what that means. Like I just don't believe it's as complex as, because the people hate me so much, this is what's gonna make everybody buy my stuff. I can't subscribe to that ideology. I can't. I refuse to. That's not real to me. What I think it is the men. You know what I'm saying? They are deprived. Men in this society today are deprived of female attention, interaction, and female touch. You know what I'm saying? And they don't make it no better because they all have porn addictions. They're not confident enough to go out into the real world and get that authentic real relationship. They're not shooting their shots. You know what I'm saying? They're not. And maybe it's because they are in the situation that they're in, that they place themselves in, or maybe it's because today's women are just like so gimme, and take, and they're not willing to give you anything if you're not even a decent looking man. If you don't have 6 figures, if you don't have anything to offer them, they're not giving you the time of day. That's what it appears to be the situation that we're living in today, right now.
Destructive elements of the lifestyle aside for a moment, they're savvy operators who understand the algorithm, the incentives, and the market better than anyone. Sophie Rain's instinct to leverage a video that wasn't even hers is annoyingly smart. Bonnie Blue will hang around any big influencer at the time, whether it be Andrew Tate or the Nelk Boys, as she knows doing so will keep the money pumping into her operation. Mia Khalifa found a way to make herself look innocent in front of mainstream audiences, and this is why culture had to stop ignoring them. Every magazine, podcast, and TV channel is starving for attention, and these women are sitting on more of it than anyone else in the room. Ignoring them doesn't make them go away, it just hands the traffic to whoever covers them instead. So the commercial decision becomes to platform them.
And that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, why, like, platforming them is doing a big thing too, because whether you like it or whether you hate it, you're seeing them. The eyes are on them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like curiosity killed the cat, and I can't help but blame that the curious man who first. There's gonna be some men who they don't agree with this at all. They don't like the idea of OnlyFans. They don't like the idea of paying $5.99 to see a person. But they're gonna see what has the world such in a chokehold. Let me just buy one and see what it is, and then next thing you know, you've literally, even if you pay for it one time, you literally just contributed to the degeneracy that's making these women fucking billionaires for nothing. You contributed to that. So I just
when Bonnie
nasty.
Blue said
It's
this
very,
on
very
UK
nasty.
daytime TV when anyone could have been watching.
You're like a Premiership footballer. You're
I mean, I work with balls, so it's the same
There we
thing.
go.
So, barely legal, 18-year-olds. Because as I started my content, I realized it was not necessarily relatable. So,
and let's not even get into the double standard, right? If there was a man that was taking a nation by storm, being on these TVs and podcasts and radio shows and talk shows and doing these interviews saying that, oh yes, I want to make it my life's mission to prey on barely legal 18-year-old women. You know what I'm saying? It's just something about that purity that I want to have. I gotta take it. I want it. I need it. That's a crazy thing to just be saying on live television that I don't even know if millions of people watch it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know how British TV works. But that's a crazy thing for a person to say. Like, if we was to just take gender out of it and just listen to what she's saying, barely legal 18-year-olds, because they're just like, I want to be the first person to take their innocence. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
it's the average person. And I wanted to make my content relatable. I'm just a girl, I'm relatable, I'm sort of the girl next door.
What is relatable about having intercourse with 1,000 men in a day? Like, what is like? I'd say the average human probably hasn't even had intercourse with more than probably 10 or 15 people. The average human is not having intercourse throughout their entire life with more than 10 to 15 people. Most people, they get with the person that they took their virginity. What is relatable that you're doing? What like that? Like, come on. Like I said, stupidity is one of the things that grinds my gears. Like, don't sit here and play stupid. That's not relatable. Nothing is relatable about that. Nothing.
Vibes.
People commented things like, interviewing a prostitute at 10:35 AM is okay for family viewing? And how can they have this conversation on morning TV as if it's normal? Imagine if you were a kid watching that asking your parents who Bonnie Blue was, and what she meant by working with bulls or switching to barely 18-year-olds.
And just like that, if a kid was to even catch a snippet of that, and you know, kids are the most curious beings. With whatever they see, they may not say in a moment and come out and say, who is Bonnie Blue? But then now they're like, oh, this person's on TV. Their name's Bonnie Blue. And whatever free time they get, they're going to sprint to their room, sprint to their phone, sprint to their computer. And it's just like, oh, they're searching this person. And guess what? The internet is not filtered. I don't know if y'all realize, but if you search up a person's name, you see everything pertaining to them. The good, the bad, the ugly, the Bonnie Blue. Like, you see everything, bro. You see everything. So it's just like, we need to do better as society. And if you want to hold anybody accountable, I don't hold the porn industry accountable. The porn industry is an industry because it was created. It was not always a thing. It's man-made. You gotta blame the men. They funded it. They continue to fund it. They continue to support it. And now it's like the tables turn. The tables turn. Now women are seeing, okay, I can make a bag just off of showing my body to these loser ass men. And then I could dip off into the sunset. This video is 45 minutes long. If you sat through this whole thing, I want to say thank you so much. I really do appreciate y'all. I really do appreciate it. It's your boy RushMoreRick. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. We're out of here. Deuces.